hopes to join its ground operations against Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. It says the military action, which began early on Tuesday, remained limited and localized. Hezbollah says it's clashed with Israeli troops in the town of Edessa. Police in Denmark are investigating 2 explosions that took place close to the Israeli embassy in Copenhagen. The area around the premises was sealed off. A Jewish school nearby has been closed for the day. The authorities in Ukraine have launched an investigation into the alleged shooting of 16 Ukrainian prisoners of war by Russian troops. Unverified online footage shows figures being lined up and shot. It's alleged to have happened on the Pokrovsk front in the eastern Donetsk region. A respected U.S. think tank, the Institute for the Study of War, says it's likely that Russian forces have seized the heavily bombarded town of Starr in eastern Ukraine. Russia's been trying to capture it since the beginning of its full-scale invasion. The 2 vice presidential candidates in the forthcoming U.S. elections have clashed over the crisis in the Middle East, immigration, abortion, and other issues in their only face-to-face debate. The Democrat Tim Walz and Republican J.D. Vance struck a cordial note. The Rwandan Health Ministry has again stepped up its response to the country's first known outbreak of the highly infectious Marburg virus. The number of deaths has risen to 11. The health minister told the BBC contact tracing and mass testing were being undertaken. The Japanese video game giant Nintendo has opened its first ever museum located in Kyoto. Tickets are already sold out for the rest of this year. BBC News.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 002 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
The best radio show. The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie, and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Wednesday edition of the Morning Show. Today is the 2nd day of October, the year 2024, with the time now at 10:48, and it is Wednesday Morning Show with your one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Yes, let me say good morning to my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy Perry. You guys, good morning to you, and special good morning to Kojo D, Felix all the way in Aberdeen, Mr. Frank Davis, KB Bossman, and all the team there as well. We salute each and every one of you. Bishop Adesina all the way in Lagos, Nigeria, Anthony Adedeji in the US, Shamsuddin, massive good morning to you, Tassino, good morning, Pastor Momo, good morning to you, and Reverend Emmanuel Chidi, hey, good morning to you, or Rachel, I hope you are all doing very, very well. Massive good morning to you. Yes, and as I did say, okay, to my colleague as well, yes, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, yes, good morning to every one of you who tuned in this morning to join us on the morning show. To our lovely listeners yesterday, those of you who joined me on the morning show, those of you who are listening from Australia. Yes, I'll try to get a name. During the course of the program to acknowledge you. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing that you did yesterday, and I really, really appreciate that. He said that he doesn't know much about the story that is making the rounds in Africa, but he did enjoy what we were looking at yesterday, and that's good. That is good. We are glad. So if you have tuned in this morning listening to us, to look or study that as well, we salute each and every one of you, and we say welcome to the Starr Radio UK Morning Show and to the Wednesday edition of the show. Yeah. Okay. Let's crack on. For those of you who have tuned in for the first time on a Wednesday morning to listen to us on the program, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quick for the day, the weather forecast will follow to then the travel update. We move from there to have a look at one of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That is Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in to bring you all that you need to know pertaining to what is happening from or in Nigeria the day after the independence anniversary celebrations. We'll be telling you more about that. And then after that, we'll continue to look at some of the other stories making the rounds. Iran and Israel exchanging, rhetorics, let me put it that way. And people are saying that could amount to serious threats. But are we going to see all-out blown war in the Middle East, or is cool heads, or are cool heads going to prevail in that part of the world? What are the other leaders doing about it? We're going to be telling you more about all that. So wherever you are, just continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Then at 11:45, we open the lines for you to add your voice to the discussion. At 12 o'clock, we bring the first part of the program to a close, where we'll try to take you to the Conservative, the Conservatives conference, yes, where the various leadership that's supposed to take place instead of the Prime Minister's question time. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen. Do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. Let's crack on. Now the question for the day says, you either make a choice to spend the day wisely, preparing yourself for the future, or you don't. And it's straightforward. So how you plan your day, how you go about your day, depends on you. And what are you going to do about it? That is the question there. Now, when it comes to the weather front as well, for us here in the UK, this is how the weather is going to be for you. For those of us in London and the southern part of England, London specifically, this afternoon will continue to be mostly cloudy with scattered showers, turning dry towards the end of the day, with a few brighter spells developing, and northeasterly breeze expected as well. This evening we'll have patchy cloud and clear spells, with the odd light shower still possible for some overnight. It will turn dry and skies will become extensively clear. Gentle winds expected as well. Top temperature is going to be 17 degrees, a bit milder than it's been of late, and the lower is going to be 8 degrees. Pollution is going to be low, and UV level is going to be low. Sunset 18:35 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:04 hours. All right. So that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. Let me take you straight to the travels as well. As we say here on this platform, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. Also keep it navigated. Our promise, our bond. You want to share with us what is going on? Feel free to do so. And let me say good morning to Attack of Me. Yes, Attack of You, I hope you are doing very, very well. Yeah, I've not seen you a couple of days, but hey, we've been enjoying your music. And this morning, we'll try to see whether we can bring it before Mr. Olayomi Koiki brings up the update. If not, after the update, I'll be bringing you one of Attack of his tunes there. This morning, I think I'm going to bring you Samuel Okotose. Yeah, that is in Ghana. Attack of You, how is my Ghana? Do I say it well, you know? All right then. Now moving on straight to Mavis. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, 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 very well as well. It's been a while. Okay, so on the national apologies, let's start from the underground. On the underground this morning, the central line is experiencing minor delays. Second line is also experiencing severe delays, but the district line has got past suspension and minor delays. So please check before you leave. That aside, all the others running good service. London Overground, DLR, London Trambling, good service there. The major roads in London, that's the A roads, are all running a good service. Taking you straight to the river bus. On the river bus, as I did announce yesterday, the Woolwich Ferry is still suspended, but that aside, all the others are running a good service. The London Cable Car is also running a good service there this morning. And the National Rail, the final segment of the travel update, as we say, keep your eyes on the roads. Now, cross country has special service. East Midlands Railway, minor delays. Gatwick Express, minor delays. Island Line, special service. ScotRail, special service there as well. Southern, minor delays, and Thameslink, minor delays there as well. That aside, all the others are running a good service, and that's where I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the roads. Let's take a quick commercial break, and once we come back, I take you global trotters. Stay tuned. Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's go global trotting, and let's kick it off from Nigeria, where we're going to be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us soon to bring you all the details of what is making the rounds this morning. Yes. The 1st of October protests record low turnout nationwide. So is it a failure? Did the organizers fail in organizing the protests the way they're supposed to be? Or what do you think there as well? And then Port Harcourt Refinery misses 7th production rollout deadline. I was talking behind the scenes with my producer and looking at the fact that if we are not able to put things together as a continent, it's just a matter of time. We'll find ourselves wanting. Nigeria want to do best. They want to do very, very well. However, look at what is happening. We cannot even ourselves refine our own crude oil. We have to send it out, depending on the the Western world, advanced countries, to be doing all those things for us. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has again failed to begin a fuel production at the Port Harcourt Refinery in Rivers State. A whole entity that's got lots of money, funds to do that. We had we had Dangote, who is an individual, a private entity, and have been able to, the biggest refinery on the African continent. We should be ashamed. We should bow our heads down in shame. We could not do that. Now, a tender in Lagos road crash. The accident occurred when a Sienna vehicle loaded with capacity rammed into a stationary truck along the roads. We'll be looking into all of those in a moment. So wherever you are, don't go away. And then local refineries remain in coma as Nigeria imports 20.2 billion liters of petrol in 2023. Now, Boko Haram terrorists in fresh attacks slaughter 5, abduct 15 farmers in Bono. And the government was saying that, well, you know what? We're going to be going to the farms. We're going to be doing more farming. We're going to be getting ourselves there and make sure we produce foodstuff for ourselves. But with what is happening, do you think that will pan out? Well. Starr Radio, okay. Now, quickly, a couple of stories from here. Netanyahu says Iran will pay for missile attacks as Israel sends more troops into Lebanon. We'll be telling you more about that. As you know, Wednesdays we are pressed with time, but let's move on. Let's move on to other stories making the rounds on the other parts of the world, or in the other parts of the world as well. Outrage over farmer accused of feeding women to pigs. A bail hearing begins in the case of 2 black women allegedly shot and fed to pigs by a white farmer. Where do you think this would have taken place? You don't need me to answer it, right? Okay, so now let's move on straight to some other stories also in Ghana as well. We'll see whether we can touch on 1 or 2 stories there whilst we wait for Olayomi Koiki to join in. A vulnerable IT system can be exploited by criminals if not addressed NDC to the EC. The National Democratic Congress has advised the Electoral Commission to address the issue with the Commission's IT system. The NDC is also demanding a multi-stakeholder and inter-party examination of the IT system if the EC, in order to address the vulnerabilities that the EC itself has admitted to. So they've admitted that, look, we think our IT system has a bit of a problem there. However, they are looking at it that, oh, don't worry, this is going to be all right. But they're saying that, no miracles can sort that, no prayers or fasting or whatever. We need to see to it that it is sorted. But what do you think? So let's see what happens from there. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Stop moving the goalposts. Evans Nimako criticizes NDC's demand on EC's IT system. Okay, so those both stories we're going to be looking at in a moment. But for now, let's take a break. We come back, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in to bring you everything that you need to know from what is happening from Nigeria. 64 years. Is it 64 years independence celebration? Now the president, what did he say? He said, well, the country is united. Yeah, we've seen lots of clashes in the past, but we've been resolute. And he thinks that, well, we're doing good, so we can go further. But what do you think about all that? Just stay tuned. Let's enjoy the tune from Atakofi whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki to join in. Don't you worry, if you happen to have him before then, we will be bringing you that music after our conversation with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Stay tuned, don't you go away. And this one is Samuel Okotose. It's in Ghana, of course.
Anunyani no na nefene nyumba wana niye. Anunyani no kotwe kwa nefene nyumba wana niye. Anunyani no koimbe kwa nefene nyumba wana niye. Au, nyumba wana niye. Au, nyumba wana niye.
This is Starr Radio UK.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning.
Anunyani no koimbe kwa nefene nyumba wana niye. Anunyani no kotwe kwa nefene nyumba wana niye. Au, nyumba wana niye. Au, nyumba wana niye. Kura ene nyumba wana niye. Nyumba wana niye. Nyumba wana niye. Nyumba wana niye. Yade sanipe le kanto. Nyumba wana niye. Nyumba wana niye. Nyumba wana niye. Yade sanipe. Anyamino rubi. Apua. Dia okomu. Anyanu. Yalala na shiode. Eja ke go west ko. Dia de sasi yo wa de fe. Wonder lesson. Oba shi wo ni. Ya no make do wo. Ikaye o wa tro mi e ko e. Eje mi ka jaju ti o mi ka mi e ba la ikura. Eje mi ka jabu ti o mi e ka mi e ba ko no kura. Eje mi ka je yesi so mu ami e ka mi e ba nu nyamle. E oni ni le to gba papa e ko no ka mi mlise. Aba ile ko e. Anyame ile ko e. Ile ko e. E o wa tro mi e ko e. Kemle mi ile ko e. Aba ile ko e. Ile ko e. Ike muni ne ko no e. Ile ko e. Ike ni ne ko no e. Anyame.
All right, this is Starr Radio UK. As I did say earlier on, don't you worry, I'll bring you the rest of that tune in a moment. But for now, we have to cross over to our own Mr. Olayomi Koiki this morning to bring you all the updates that you need to know. But that tune was coming from Atakofi, and it says Samuel Okotose in Ghana. Okay, if you didn't understand it. Music is a universal language, so at times you just hear the kum kum and then you are on and you are enjoying it. But let me say massive good morning to my colleague and co-presenter Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie, and a very good morning back to all our listeners and viewers from around the world, and welcome once again to the Starr Radio UK network, where we're going to be delivering all the news coming from the other side of the globe. It's a very beautiful weather. I decided to enjoy it outside, but again, it is the British weather, so you still have to dress as warm as possible because we are not in the summer again. We are literally back in the winter. So good morning to all our listeners and viewers, and let me come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, for you in our North London studios, but standing outside trying to enjoy a bit of the breeze. Yesterday, how the rain beat me proper. I went out and then I remember my producer telling me to take a brolly. I said, no, I'm just going to be walking. And the rain just came down like no man's business. But it was good. It makes me enjoy how Africans do enjoy when they suffer. I don't know, enjoy how they suffer when they travel that way. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. And I hope you are doing very well, sir.
Well, I'm doing very well. It's been a 24 hours trying to monitor things back in Nigeria, as there's quite a lot of development. We couldn't join yesterday, but we might catch up on some of the speech, by the president. But again, I'm doing very well, like you said, and as usual, the family is doing very great as well.
Okay, we thank God for that. Regards to everybody who has joined in. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Now let's crack on. Now, yesterday, the 64th anniversary of Nigeria's independence. I remember the president's speech. Just picking a bit from there, but what I read out of that speech, or picked out of that speech, was that he was talking about the fact that Nigeria seemed to be resolute upon all the undertones and stuff that has been going on. He talked about the Biafra War, which was 57 years ago, and everything that took place, and was saying that upon all those things that came up that could have broken the nation, it didn't, and so they are all united. However, we had people who had gathered in Abuja who wanted to go on demonstration. Yomi, tell us more.
Well, you're quite right. An independent speech is to give hope, and also to deliver the government manifesto is also a way to engage, the average, citizens, regardless of wherever you are around the world. So, this president's speech yesterday, as other speech, it's something that a lot of people, review and continue to review as well. This is how the BBC picked on the headline: the Nigerian president pleads for patience amid tough economy. That is the most important thing, because when we talk about the citizen this morning, average citizens wants to know what next for them. So you talked about a couple of things that the president spoke about, but let's quickly touch on it. He also insisted that Nigeria was winning the war on the violence that has killed thousands in the north over the recent years, a declaration that would seem far-fetched to some, because as of yesterday, 5 innocent lives were also killed by the Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. The other part is that there was a low turnout with the protest, maybe in the amid of fear that this government has really gone after the citizens very tough. When it comes to the journalists, the civil society, we saw, the NLC labor, that was picked up on his way to London, some few weeks back. So maybe for that reason, the turnout for the protests were very low in Abuja and in Lagos as well. So protesters in the capital as well in Lagos, also the 64th anniversary of independence from the UK, to denounce what they say as the government handling. The other thing that the president spoke about, is asking now Nigerians to be patient. I believe, President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president, said the same thing for 8 years, telling Nigerians that things will be getting better, and it seems that, it's getting much difficult. He talked about that he has also scrapped the policy of pegging the naira to the US dollar. I have sent money back home this morning, and the average £25, which is about 2 hours wages for an average, earner in the UK, has given about 55,000 naira equivalent. That is, about, almost some percentage higher than the minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira. I think on Monday, we talked about 17 state governors now putting out a panel to review, how they will pay 70,000 naira to the average minimum wage as well. One thing also is about the inflation. Right now, the inflation in Nigeria is about 32%. That is quite high. And that literally means that many Nigerians are dwelling into abject poverty. But I can also tell you that many diaspora that japa, like I spoke to, a voice note that was sent to me. This individual came in 2 years ago through, kind of a student visa. Things didn't go right. But right now, it seems that Japa is becoming very difficult to get in. But those that get in are also struggling when you convert the currency that they came in with some 2 years ago compared to the inflation of the almost 2,200 naira to the pound this morning. So I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. Once again, this is the Starr Radio UK. And like I said, quite a lot have still been reviewed as we are reviewing it again this morning, 48 hours after that speech.
Well, interesting. 48 hours after the speech, how did Nigerians accept or receive that speech? Did they agree with the president or what? Just bear with us. My image is not showing, but we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on, so we'll go on that, and then the technical team will sort it out. But looking at the various states, we know that the southeast were saying they were not going to involve, or they were telling their people not to be involved in it at all. Now the southwest as well and the middle belt. How were the celebrations like? Did it take place? How did it take place as well?
Well, while I was, reviewing the social media, preparing for the program this morning, I saw the big celebration in America, where the citizens, came out. I'm not sure whether it's a government sponsor, because we know how the government works around when it comes to celebration like these, especially a government that doesn't have very good reputation, always tend to use the diaspora as part of their gimmick. And one thing we got to remind ourselves is, the many Nigerians back home are reacting and continue to react, even as, the World Bank has again approved 1.57 billion financing package for Nigeria. The World Bank is already the largest lender to Nigeria, with almost about $15 billion in loan to the country. Whether these loans are going to be used, for the right purposes is a different thing entirely. But many Nigerians are still reacting, to the president's speech, because it has not given the kind of hope and the expectation that I would love to. But like I said, it seems that on the other side of the globe, in the U.S., many, the second, the fourth, the fifth generation Nigerians are celebrating with a good, lifestyle, which many disagree with. I'll try and get the post, and we can see how Nigerians, are responding, to that particular, event that took place. I'm not too sure whether there was a lot of activities in UK I'm not aware of, but I'm sure, since we don't have an ambassador at the British and the Nigerian High Commission in London, I'm sure there will be a very low-key activities as well at the embassy yesterday.
Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, a bit about the 64th anniversary independence anniversary celebration that took place from Nigeria. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you the morning show updates from Nigeria coming your way. Now let's come to one of the issues that we were looking at, that is pertaining to having enough crude oil. I mean, we have enough crude oil in Nigeria, but we're looking at finished products. Okay, the refineries. Now, an entity, a private entity, so let's call him one person, Dangote, has been able to build the biggest refinery in Africa. Okay, now we have the whole of Nigeria with all the money and everything, and one refinery, not that we are building it from the scratch, the Port Harcourt one has not been able to come up. They promise, oh, we're going to start the refinery, oh, we're going to start, then they promise again, they promise. That's what seems to be going on. But Yomi, what have they said now?
It's quite, a sad one when we talk about, the oil and gas industry in Nigeria, and when we talk about the refinery as well. First and foremost, Nigeria continues to import, as many of our consuming petrol in the country, in as much as we have, the Dangote refinery that is already up and running as well. But again, before going into the Port Harcourt refinery that this government told us will be up and running, but it seems that is not coming as we know. Petrol import dropped by 3.58 billion liters in 1 year. That is coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. According to 2023, we literally brought in
yeah, go on, we can hear you.
Just bear with me, because we're not going to stay too long because of the other engagement. But total petrol drop was about 30.30 billion. But let me go back quickly to the refinery. The Port Harcourt refinery has now missed the 7th production rollout deadline. As we know it at the moment, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company has again failed to begin fuel production at the Port Harcourt refinery in Rivers State. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Those are some of the stories making the rounds, but we'll leave Yomi to bring you all the rest of the stories because we have other pressing things that he needs to see too as well. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, like we said, the October 1st protest record was a low turnout, and the reason for that is that many Nigerians are probably a little bit worried or scared that they might end up, in Bola Tinubu's prison, and that is probably the reason why, they've not been able to come out as much as the expectation as well. Nigeria plans 70% wheat self-sufficient. How are we going to do that? I'm not too sure, because the northern part of the country is still going through a lot of troubles. We know that majority of the wheat being used in the country is coming from Ukraine. But since the war broke out between Russia and Ukraine, it's been a very difficult one as well. We're going to move swiftly as well as we continue to talk about, the road network in Nigeria. Nigeria is still, the 6th worst road network in the continent. And yesterday, 10 people died in the Lagos road crash. According to the report coming, these 10 include 3 children, 7 adults, all lost their lives in an accident at Abule Osun area of Lagos Badagry Expressway on the Tuesday night. RIP to them, and we hope that the government will continue to review most of the road network across the country as well. I'm going to go straight to the social media this morning. There's a lot of reaction coming out of that area this morning, and as many people continue to to follow the development between the Iran-Israel situation. Many responding back to the Port Harcourt refinery. These are how Nigerians are responding to that. Bear with me. I'm trying to. All right, we'll come back to.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us. I think Yomi's line is dropped. He was waiting, expecting some information to come through. I think it came through and might have disconnected him. But let's see whether we can get him back on. Yes.
The interruption, earlier, but I'm back on with the studio.
Yes.
These are the response from Nigerians before we bring the program to an end from my end. Nothing this government will do that will work for the people. It's always failure upon failure. These are the reaction from the Port Harcourt refinery that we talked about. Port Harcourt refinery misses the 7th deadline to restart operation. This country, is a very, it's a very harsh word. I'll probably not use that, from these, individual. But according to, even when the Oga said, trust me, I am not lying, he ended up lying. And I'm sure they're referring to President Bola Tinubu. They play. Now, who no know, go believe now. Many Nigerians, after 64 years, knows that, the country is going through a lot of difficult time. But how this government plans to manage the economy, the insecurity, is something that many people continue to talk about. But I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, and then we can kind of have about maybe 2-3 minute discussion on some of the most important pressing issues back home.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK. Now, interestingly, when it comes to the refinery bit, we thought that having the Dangote coming upstream and stuff, we know that now it's this year that his started. So the statistics will be from next year for us to know how good they've performed and if the importation of finished product, petrol spirit, has dropped a bit further. But looking at it all, has it impacted? With few days that is gone on, has it impacted the prices of fuel in Nigeria? And can people say, oh, we are better off, we are buying petrol maybe a bit cheaper than what we were getting at all?
Well, that is the question. Many Nigerians are still wondering if the petrol is being produced in Nigeria. I mean, we have the crude oil. Dangote is already in the market right now, but many Nigerians are still struggling to even get their hands on the PMS. But let's wait and see a couple of months if the Naira that will be used to purchase it, according to the president, will make any impact. But for now, the average Nigerians are still paying high price, to get the PMS.
Okay. Now, just one more, and then if you want to sign up. Now, the federal government is doing that subsidy, the rice thing that they are giving. Do you think that has also impacted the people positively? Because you give me rice. I need tomatoes. I need oil. I need all those bits. I'm already struggling. How are people coping with that?
Well, the government subsidy on the rice is just more or less like subsidy on other products, especially the crude oil. I mean, the PMS until that was taken off, from the according to the government. Rice production in the country should have been a top notch, but because we have imported these for a very long time, investment hasn't gone into it. So right now the government continue to subsidize the rice as much as other areas as well. But one thing is, how much more can this government continue to subsidize if we are not sufficient enough when it comes to our own infrastructure system, to manage and produce what we consume? Because for as long as Nigeria is not producing what we are consuming, it will continue to be, a big toll on the economy, and many Nigerians will continue to languish in poverty.
Okay, thank you very much, Yomi. Before you go, sir.
Well, we'll be back again tomorrow, with more discussion. But like I said, hopefully before the end of the year, we might be bringing back, our Niger Voices on a Wednesday evening. But I'll be communicating that with all our listeners. But for now, remain with the Starr Radio UK network. The African, first radio station in London that brings you up to date on what is happening in Africa and likewise in the UK. I will hand it back to Archie to take you through the rest of the program. But from me here, I say very good morning and have a very great day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Have a blessed day too. All right then, ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria, and we hope that you enjoyed the information that we brought your way. Yes, yesterday I was saying that there was one of our listeners in South Africa. No, my apologies. Australia was listening, and he was so enthused with the stories that we were putting across pertaining to what is happening on the African continent. He said yes, he loved that. He loved to know what is happening in the Sahel region, the countries there, the countries that undertook coup d'etats and what. So you see that people are getting more information from here. But you know what? We're going to take a break now. And once we come back, I'm going to be bringing you more. But this break is going to be bringing you what? Attack of his tune. Yehovah One. Enjoy it.
Nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no kotwe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no koimbe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye papa nenda musiku Anunyani no na nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no koimbe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no kotwe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye ene nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye Yadesani bele kanto.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Yadesani bele. Anyamino rubi apua. Ya okobu. Anyanu. Yalala na shiode. Eja ke yo wefe ko. They are the sassy, you are the faith. What the lesson? What I see what you know we can do it. Ikaye owe drobie koe. Ete mika jaduti amika mieba laikra. Ete mika jabuti amika mieba konokra. Ete mika jengesi somu amika mieba nunyamle. Papa ya kunoga ni mlise Aba Ineko Anyame kono
This is Starr Radio UK.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Okay, welcome back to the program. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 11:30. So wherever you are tuned in this morning listening to us, I hope that you're enjoying the show. It's now time for us to go to other parts of the world. I'm kicking it off from here in the UK. Yes, sir. All right then. So what's happening across this part of the world? Well, James Cleverly sets out his pay to replace Rishi Sunak as Tory leader. I was listening to an interview this morning, and I think the defense minister or secretary happened to be one who was advocating for James Cleverly because he thinks that he was an all-rounder. Okay, yes, he's held various portfolios. He's been an ex-military man, and he'll be able to rise to the occasion. But what do you think about all that? So he's making his own presentation there. But last night, the Prime Minister of the UK said UK forces were involved in supporting Israel in the conflict in the Middle East after Iran launched a missile attack on the country. Now, Defense Secretary John Haley, who is in Cyprus to visit personnel based on the island, said British forces had played their part in attempts to prevent further escalation without giving more details. In an interview, he said UK fighter jets were involved as they were in April when Iran last attacked Israel with missiles. Responding on Tuesday to Iran's attack, Prime Minister Keir Starmer said the UK stands with Israel and recognizes its right to self-defense. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said it had launched the missiles in retaliation for the recent attacks that killed the leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas militant group, as well as a senior Iranian commander. Israel said most of the 180 missiles fired were intercepted. Now, Haley thanked British personnel involved for their courage and professionalism. The UK stands fully behind Israel's right to defend its country and its people against threats. Now, Haley's visit to Cyprus will see him meet some of the British personnel preparing for possibility of evacuating British nationality or nationals from Lebanon. All right, then. This is all coming your way from Star Radio UK at 11:32. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, shortages of doctors mean the average GP in England has to care for 17% more patients than 9 years ago. It means for every permanent GP, there are more than 2,300 patients, a jump of nearly 350 since 2015, helping explain why access to general practice has been worsening and patient satisfaction declining. The analysis of NHS data also shows the areas struggling the most have list sizes exceeding 3,000 patients, nearly double those with the most doctors. Experts said the variation was unwarranted and puts patients' health at risk. The government said it was developing plans to train more doctors and relieve some of the pressures by giving pharmacists more responsibilities. At its annual conference beginning on Thursday, Royal College of GPs leaders are expected to highlight how access to GPs has declined the most in poor areas. Professor Camilla Hawthorne, who chairs the RCGP, is expected to tell the conference GP shortages are having a devastating impact on the health of the local population, and the rise in the number of patients per GP has become unmanageable. Okay, so lots more. How many times have you been able to call your GP and has quickly or straight to gone through and had your appointment? Interesting one there. So come your way from Star Radio UK. The post office scandal has been going on a while. We know the advocate has been knighted even as well. However, some are saying they've still not received their own payment. One of them, Joe Hamilton. Now, Post Office Horizon scandal victim Joe Hamilton has hit out at delays to compensation for sub-postmasters, saying the government should just pay. It comes after Post Office Minister Gareth Thomas said not all payments will be made by March next year. Now, former sub-postmaster Sir Alan Bates had called for a March 2025 deadline to compensate all involved in the initial legal action against the post office. Now, Thomas agreed with Sir Alan that faster progress was needed, but he said it will be difficult to achieve that deadline. And it goes on further to say, I wish I could commit to Sir Alan's time frame. He said, I think we have made substantial progress by next we will have made substantial progress by next summer. But Ms. Hamilton hit back, saying Thomas could pay by the end of March, adding that the whole process is just nonsense. All right, then. That's a strong word there. And it's all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time into 11:35. And I take you straight to other parts of the world to look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Top of the agenda is attack of Israel by Iran. Now, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Iran will pay after Iran fired around 180 missiles at Israel on Tuesday. Now, most of the missiles were intercepted. One Palestinian was killed in the West Bank, and a school in central Israel and areas near Tel Aviv were hit. Iran said the barrage was in response to Israel's aggressive act, including the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. Israel says it's sending additional forces to its ground operation inside Lebanon, which began earlier this week, and has told more villages to evacuate. Now, Hezbollah says it replied an Israeli ground attack in Lebanon on Wednesday, and it has continued firing rockets at Israel. In reaction to what is happening, Israel's foreign minister says UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is persona non grata in Israel and is barred from entering the country. Israel Katz says his decision is a response to Guterres' failure to unequivocally condemn Iran's missile attack on Israel on Tuesday. He accuses the UN chief of being anti-Israel and giving support to terrorists, rapists, and murderers. Guterres will be remembered as a stain on the history of the UN for generations to come. Now, yesterday, the UN chief condemned the broadening of the Middle East conflict with escalation after escalation and called for a ceasefire, but fell short of condemning the attacks by Iran. But well, what do you think is going to happen? He said it's a persona non grata, so it's not allowed to Israel. So I asked myself the question, so what is the point of the UN at all? The UN body, what is the point of the UN body? Because it looks like they don't seem to be doing much when it comes to, or having any power per se to say that we are stopping people from doing this or that. But what do you think? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now exactly to 11:37. You can add your voice to the discussions in the next 7 minutes. All right. Now, as the attacks were going on, 7 people were killed in a shooting and a knife attack in Tel Aviv as well. Sorry, says 7 people have been killed in a shooting and knife attack in Tel Aviv. Police in Israel has confirmed. Several others were injured, some seriously, when a gunman opened fire at members of the public in the Jaffa area. The deadly attack began in a rail carriage and continued on the platform, local police said in a statement. Footage posted on social media showed motionless bodies strewn in the street. Now, police said the gunman and another attacker armed with a knife were neutralized by members of the public and described the motive as terror. The identities of the perpetrators have not been released yet. Some Israeli media outlets earlier reported the death toll as 8, though it is unclear if this included the attackers as well. All coming your way from Starr Radio UK. In other stories making the rounds there as well, Russian troops have taken complete control of the eastern city of Volodya, which Ukrainian forces have been defending since the beginning of the Moscow's full-scale invasion 2.5 years ago. Now, Ukraine's Eastern Military Command confirmed on Wednesday that they had told the troops still fighting in parts of the Volodya to pull back to avoid becoming surrounded. For more than 2 years, Russia has been trying to take this city in order to advance further north and reach regional transportation hubs such as Kharkov and Pokrovsk. Now, pro-Kremlin military bloggers had posted several videos the day before showing Russian soldiers with flags on rooftops of different buildings in Volodya. Donetsk regional authorities confirmed on Tuesday that Russian troops had almost reached the city center, and some reports said Ukrainian forces are still hanging on in some districts. But this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean in radio station in London. So much trouble in the world Bob Marley said. Okay. Now, moving on to another story making the round this morning, going to the U.S. Well, the debate between the vice presidential candidates took place yesterday night. Vance and Walz stick to policy in polite VP debate, but who won is the question. Now, Tuesday's night vice presidential debate between Republican J.D. Vance and Democrat Tim Walz felt like a civil and relatively restrained conversation about the issues at the top of American voters' mind going into the 5th of November election. In that, it was unlikely the two presidential debates earlier this year. The two men spent much more time attacking the other's running mate than each other during 90 plus minutes on CBS News State in New York. Now, Walz had a shaky start, but hit his stride when talking about abortion and the Capitol riot. But the even-tempered, policy-focused debate with few political body blows probably served Vance, a polished public speaker, best in the end. If Vance was picked because he puts ideological meat on the bones of Trump's conversation populism, on Tuesday night he put a polite, humble face on them as well. Something these guys do is they make a lot of claims about if Donald Trump becomes president, all of these terrible consequences are going to ensue, he said. But in reality, Donald Trump was president. Inflation was low. Take-home pay was higher. Now, there were moments when Republican candidates bristled at what he thought was unfair fact-checking from the two CBS moderators, and at one point, microphones of both candidates were temporarily muted. But for the most part, the exchange on stage were even tempered. And there were several moments when the two men agreed on issues and said so. There's a lot of commonality here, Walz said towards the end of the evening. When Walz spoke of his 17-year-old son witnessing the shooting at a community center, Vance seemed genuinely concerned. I'm sorry about that, and I hope he's doing okay. He said, Christ have mercy, it's awful. So you see that they are human beings after all, not just going on that part like that. The most vigorous disagreement came towards the end of the debate on the topic of Trump's repeated false claim that 2020 election was stolen from him. Vance, when asked if Trump lost the last presidential election, dodged the question and criticized what he said was Kamala Harris' censorship. Now, Walz quickly noted that it was a damning non-answer. Now, to deny what happened on January 6th, the first time an American president or anyone tried to overturn an election, this has got to stop, he said. It is tearing our country apart. Walz went on to say the only reason Mike Pence, Trump's previous vice president, was not on stage was because he certified President Joe Biden's victory. Vance had no answer to that, highlighting that beyond his friendly demeanor and agreeability, he will not break from Trump's position. Well, that's what Trump said. So at times, instead of you to silence, then nobody can tell you exactly where you have grouped or where you are. So that's exactly what he did there. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio, okay? As I did say, the lines are open. Feel free to hop in or hop out as the program goes on. But at 12 o'clock, we'll bring the program to a close there. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Let's move on to Africa as well, because we are pressed with time. A top Sudanese general has said the army will press on with its offensive despite international efforts to broker a ceasefire in the 17-month civil war. Peace talk can go on, but the army will not stop for that, Assistant Commander-in-Chief Lieutenant General Ibrahim Gabriel said to the BBC. He was speaking just days after the army launched an operation to regain control of the capital Khartoum from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. that the two sides have been fighting since April last year, when their leaders fell out over the country's future. This has created a humanitarian catastrophe, with more than half of the country facing hunger and millions forced from their homes. The general also hinted in the wide-ranging interview that the Sudanese authorities had weapons dealing with Iran and denied there was famine in the country. Now, when the parties agree to a ceasefire, the army can stop, he said, repeating army demands that the RSF withdraw from the areas that it has occupied. In a quote, he said, let the international community exert pressure on the militia to stop the fighting and leave the houses that it's taken, he said, adding he was more confident now that the army had the momentum. Who has the momentum and who seems to be suffering? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A sad story making the rounds as well. The case of two black women who were allegedly shot and fed to pigs by a white farmer and two of his workers has caused outrage in South Africa. Maria Magato, 45, and Lucia Ndlovu, 34, were allegedly looking for food on the farm near Polokwane in South Africa's northern Limpopo province in August when they were shot. Their bodies were then alleged to have been given to pigs in an apparent attempt to dispose of the evidence. A court is now to decide whether to grant bail to farm owner Zachariah Johannes Olivier, 60, and his employees Adrian DeWitt, 19, and William Mazuro, 50, ahead of their murder trial. The three men have not yet been asked to enter a plea in court, which will happen when the trial begins at a later date. At previous hearing, protesters have demonstrated outside court demanding that suspect be denied bail. Now, Miss Magato's brother, Walter Matoli, has said that the incident has further exacerbated racial tension between black and white people in South Africa. This is especially rife in rural areas of the country, despite the end of the racist system of apartheid 30 years ago. The three men in court in Polokwane also faces charges of attempted murder for shooting at Ms. Ndlovu's husband, who was with the women at the farm, as well as a possession of an unlicensed firearms. We'll see what happens on that front. But this is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. At least 25 people have died and many others are missing after two migrant boats capsized off the coast of Djibouti. The boats left Yemen with 310 people on board before sinking in the Red Sea off the East African nation on Tuesday, the International Organization for Migration has said. Today, 61 individuals are still missing and the search operations are continuing relentlessly, the Djibouti Coast Guard has said. It is the latest boat disaster to hit the route, described as one of the busiest and most dangerous in the world, used by refugees and migrants from Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Kenya's embattled Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua calls himself the truthful man, attributing his remarkable rise to the fact that he speaks truth to power. But as he faces impeachment proceedings, he says these troubles are also a result of his outspoken nature. Before he was elected MP in 2017, little was known about the man who would, in 5 short years, rise to become Kenya's second in command. Not many people outside Gachagua's central Kenyan constituency had heard of him or his style of politics. Now, Gachagua captured the limelight in the run-up to the 2022 elections when he vehemently opposed President Uhuru Kenyatta's choice of preferred successor. Kenyatta was campaigning heavily for former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, but Gachagua allied himself with William Ruto's Kenyatta, then deputy, who was angling for the presidency, that his boss did not want to bequeath to him. Well, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A couple of stories and then we'll bring the program to a close for today. The National Democratic Congress has advised the Electoral Commission in Ghana to address the issues with the Commission's IT systems. The NDC is demanding a multi-stakeholder and inter-party examination of the IT system of the EC in order to address the vulnerabilities that the EC itself has admitted to. In a quote, they said, a vulnerable EC IT system that is susceptible to data manipulation and infiltration from officials and non-officials of the Electoral Commission who have access to log-in credentials. With this background, the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC has deliberated and decided to accept the EC's promise to release to political parties the correct updated version of the 2024 Provisional Voters Register for scrutiny within 1 week. The General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete, indicated that in a press statement. He continued, the FEC further welcomes the decision by the Electoral Commission to re-exhibit the updated Provisional Voters Register. We, however, recommend that the re-exhibition exercise should be conducted online and offline at the exhibition centers. Additionally, the NDC demands a multi-stakeholders and inter-party examination of the IT system of the Electoral Commission with the aim of addressing the vulnerabilities that the EC itself has admitted to, which vulnerabilities led to several of the anomalies we have raised. Clearly, the vulnerabilities in the IT system of the Electoral Commission can be exploited by the criminals to compromise the integrity of December 7, 2024 elections if not addressed. It's quite an interesting one. However, the Director of Elections and Research for the New Patriotic Party, Evans Nimakon, has expressed a sharp disapproval of the opposition National Democratic Congress' latest demand to examine the Electoral Commission IT infrastructure. What is wrong with that? Now, after all, they're not saying that they want to go there single-handedly to go and inspect those things. They said it should be bipartisan. Everybody, let us go there. Let us make sure that everything is taken along very well before we start. So that, if you lose, hands down, hands on chest, you say, yes, I lost. Free and fairly. But, well, he's saying, speaking at a press rally, one of the radio stations, he argued that the NDC is continuously shifting its concerns regarding the 2024 Provisional Voter Register and warned that their demands should be approached cautiously. Mr. Nimako voiced frustration over what he described as the NDC's evolving list of grievances, noting that their initial focus had been on the accuracy of the voters' register. However, at the recent Inter-Party Advisory Commission, committee at the IPAC meeting, the NDC extended its concern to the EC's IT system. They must stop changing the goalposts, Mr. Nimako said emphatically. Their major issue was the voters' register, and now they are extending it to the IT infrastructure. What is that they want in the IT system? They now want the IT team to sit with the EC and go into the system. We have to tread cautiously. Mr. Nimako took the opportunity to highlight how the MPP has addressed its own concerns about the provisional register, contrasting its approach with that of the NDC. He explained that the MPP had broken the register down to polling station levels and raised their concerns directly with the EC. He said, we, the National Patriotic Party, took a practical approach, Mr. Nimako said. We broke down the register to polling stations levels and raised our concerns accordingly. Our General Secretary even wrote to the EC for an official engagement to discuss those concerns. He referenced a recent court ruling in the Manchia South constituency that ordered the correction of illegally transferred voters as an example of how the system is being scrutinized. The court has stepped in where necessary, such as in the Manchia South case, where voters' numbers were ordered to be compared back to the original stations, he added. While Mr. Nimako acknowledged that the importance of having a clean voters register, he was skeptical of the NDC's insistence on delving into the Electoral Commission's IT infrastructure. He warned that giving political parties direct access to the IT system could lead to implications. What implication is there? I don't get it. If people are suspicious of anything, I'd rather we are all there. This is it. This is it. This is what I'm holding. It's a phone. Okay? It is Samsung S30 what? It is S24 Ultra, whatever they call it. Okay? Yes. And it has a black case in it. Hands down. So if anybody sees it, you know that this is what we are talking about. But I wouldn't do this and say you can't see it. You can't see it. And the next moment I bring it out. Maybe a red phone. I've taken another phone to come and do that. So you get it. I don't see. Again, they are not spokesperson for the Electoral Commission. What do you think about that? It's quite an interesting one. Now, I'd rather everybody sit down. We all have a look at it. It's not like after that everybody can have access to the IT system that they can just log in. Everybody can log in to do so. No, it's not going to happen that way, is it? But well, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now exactly to what? I can see somebody. Okay, at the entrance there. Okay. Just bear with me. Let's take a quick break and I'll bring you that story and then we can go. Yeah? Oh, sorry. Just bear with me. Let me just do that. Take a quick break and then we can go.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 002 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Apologies for that. I don't know whether you could hear me screaming or shouting, calling on Brother Francis to be in charge. But wherever you are, this is Starr Radio UK. We're bringing the program to a close in the next couple of minutes. But what do you think about the issue with the EC and the fact that the NDC are calling for a robust IT system? What do you think about all that? Well, let's move on to the final part of the story is making the rounds this morning. Now, trading cautiously is key. Now, forensic audits are one thing, but giving political parties direct access to the IT system is a sensitive issue, Mr. Nimako said. The NDC have moved from discussing the voters register to now wanting to examine IT system. But this needs to be carefully managed. Mr. Nimako also addressed the NDC's concern over missing voters, noting that despite the EC's effort to resolve the issue, the opposition still disagrees. He stated that out of the over 1,551 voters whose data was missing from the register, the EC had a plan to rectify the situation by providing a missing voters list on election day, which is quite an interesting one. The EC has assured us that they know the polling stations and have contact numbers for these voters. If they cannot re-register them, they will still appear on a missing voters list, he explained. Now, despite the NDC still disagrees, and for us, it seems like part of their broader strategy is to keep raising issues. Mr. Nimako stated that the MPP is ready for the upcoming election and urged the EC to release the revised provisional voter register for further examination. We've heard what was discussed at the IPAC meeting today, and we are ready. We are still working towards the engaging voters, and we called on the EC to release the revised provisional register so we can continue to examine it, Mr. Nimako stated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK, and of course, this is where I have to bring the program to a close for today. Well, God willing, tomorrow we're going to be coming your way with another edition of the morning show. It's going to be the Thursday edition, and as I've been announcing, Friday there's not going to be a live program because Friday I have to we're going to have a bit of just a day's break there because there are going to be technical updates coming your way from there, so that it can permit me to also go and mourn my lost brother, my younger brother there. Okay, so Friday there will not be a live show. All right then. Okay, so let me say thank you very much to each and every one of you who have tuned in this morning or who tuned in this morning to listen to us. It's been a pleasure coming your way. But remember, God willing, tomorrow exactly at 10:30 we'll be up streaming, and you can also share your take with us. As many of you who joined in, kudos to you and God bless you. Let's enjoy this tune from the Zongo man himself. That is The Problem of Africa. Well. When that song ends and you don't hear from me, it's been me, Archie, saying have a top of the day and bye-bye for now.
The problem of Africa is the elite. Africa. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa is the elite. Africa. Who run things, who run things, who run things. Them all go to universities. Universities award them degrees. Big degrees. Degrees. Big degrees. MSc in stealing. Bachelor of Arts, mismanagement. Another degree. Masters in looting. MSc in corruption, Bachelor of Science in nepotism, MSc in forgery, another degree, Bachelor of Arts in indiscipline, MSc in embezzlement. The problem of Africa is the elite. Africa. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa is the elite. Africa. Who run things, who run things, who run things. Some of them.
This is Starr Radio UK.
To London School of Fools, where they were awarded degrees.